Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. The NFL season has begun, but it's okay because the Sunday games have not happened yet, so let's go ahead and give my playoff predictions and my award predictions now. These are my official playoff predictions, my official award predictions, and then in the middle of the season I come back, I make updated predictions, but if you want to hold me to anything, you can hold me to these. But again, things always change. I will make slight adjustments, but really, if you're trying to hold me to something, hold me to these. So with that said, the Falcons disappointed me on Thursday. They lost to Philadelphia Eagles, but I'm not going to let that change my opinion when it comes to that team or the Eagles. I will stick to my guns. So let's start with the AFC. I told you in my win-loss predictions I had these 6 teams making the playoffs. Number 1 seed Pittsburgh Steelers, number 2 seed New England Patriots, both teams at 12-4. Number 3 seed Tennessee Titans, number 4 seed Kansas City Chiefs, both teams at 10-6. Number 5 seed Jacksonville Jaguars at 10-6, and number 6 seed the Cincinnati Bengals at 9-7. So those are your 6 teams in the AFC. So let's discuss the wild card round. The Tennessee Titans hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. I have the Titans winning that game, advancing to the divisional round. And then 4 seed Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars going to Kansas City and getting it done. So despite Patrick Mahomes not being the quarterback in Kansas City, Andy Reid still chokes, and the Jaguars move on to the next round. So the next round, Pittsburgh Steelers host the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they struggled last year with this matchup. This year, the Steelers get it done. They defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they move on. Another rematch from last year, the New England Patriots host the Tennessee Titans, and man, you know I want to do it. Ooh, I want to do it, but I won't. It's a closer game than last year, but the Patriots still defeat the Tennessee Titans to move on to the AFC Championship. And then Pittsburgh Steelers versus New England Patriots, this time in Pittsburgh, and the Pittsburgh Steelers get it done. They defeat the New England Patriots for the first time in years, and they move on to the Super Bowl. NFC Playoff time, Minnesota Vikings, number 1 seed, LA Rams, number 2 seed, Atlanta Falcons, number 3 seed, Philadelphia Eagles, number 4 seed, Green Bay Packers, number 5 seed the Chicago Bears, number 6 seed. Let's start with the wild card round. Atlanta Falcons hosting the Chicago Bears. Falcons get it done. Again, I know they lost the Thursday game, but I'm not going to put too much credence into that. They still competed. They should have won the damn game. Give me the Falcons to win at home here. Number 4 seed Philadelphia Eagles, only at 10-6. I'm sorry, I don't care that they won on Thursday. They host the Green Bay Packers, and they lose to the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers comes to town and upsets the Philadelphia Eagles to move on to the next round. What is the next round? The Minnesota Vikings hosting the Green Bay Packers. 1 seed, 5 seed. Can Aaron Rodgers get it done again? Can he upset? Can he defeat the Minnesota Vikings? He cannot. The Vikings move on to the NFC Championship game. And then the next matchup, the LA Rams host the Atlanta Falcons. And again, the Falcons travel to LA and they upset the LA Rams. There's a lot to like about the LA Rams, but I don't trust Jared Goff in the playoffs yet. You think Matt Ryan chokes? Jared Goff choked last year. He did not show up in that playoff game. He's very young at the quarterback position, and I don't think he's mentally that tough. I think it's going to take him a couple years before he's able to win big games like this. And Matt Ryan, although he does have his problems, he can. So, not always, but he just certainly can. Okay, so give me the Falcons to do it again, to go to LA and upset the LA Rams. And then NFC Championship game, Minnesota Vikings hosting the Atlanta Falcons. 1 seed, 3 seed. Give me the 1 seed. Minnesota Vikings, they move on to the Super Bowl. So yet again, we have 2 number 1 seeds facing off in the Super Bowl. I think this has been the case for the past 3 or 4 seasons now. It's getting ridiculous. But look, man, if you're gonna have 2 teams as a number 1 seed, you're probably gonna pick them to go to the Super Bowl. If not, why are they your number 1 seed, right? You have the most confidence in these teams. Minnesota Vikings, I have my problems with them. I've discussed Kirk Cousins. He chokes a lot, but man, it's gonna be real hard for Kirk Cousins to choke with the defense that he's about to have, to choke with the wide receiver he's about to have, the tight end. The offensive line is not great, but that's the only thing on that team that's not great right now. Okay, the Minnesota Vikings are stacked. So who will win? The Pittsburgh Steelers or the Minnesota Vikings? And I struggled with this because honestly, I want to pick the Steelers. I feel like it's time for Ben Roethlisberger to win again. I feel like it's time for Mike Tomlin to win again. I feel like it's time for them to get it done, but at the same time, man, you just can't trust the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. They like to choke. You know, even getting this far would be significant for them. Minnesota Vikings are absolutely stacked at this point. I think the pressure to play at their own house last year got to them, but this year with Kirk Cousins at the helm, and I know first-year quarterbacks, you know, playing their first year with a new team, they don't tend to do this, but you know what? I'm buying into it. I have the Minnesota Vikings winning Super Bowl 53, defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers, MVP being Kirk Cousins. With that said, let's move on to my award predictions for this season, and let's start with this. MVP Ben Roethlisberger. Wow! Now this would be interesting, but this is what I have. Especially with Le'Veon Bell missing the beginning part of the season, this will allow Ben Roethlisberger to really ascend his play statistically, as long as he can stay healthy, which is huge for him. I have been playing about 14-15 games and coming down with the MVP, throwing the ball to Juju Smith-Schuster, throwing the ball to Antonio Brown, to Jesse James. His weapons are there. James Washington, their second-round draft pick. Give me Big Ben for MVP. It's time, Mr. Ben. All right, move on to Offensive Player of the Year, Aaron Rodgers. He gets that done. Won't win enough games for MVP, but we'll have the best quarterback stat line this season. Of course, he's Aaron damn Rodgers. Defensive Player of the Year, Von Miller. Pretty safe bet. I mean, it could be Von Miller, it could be Luke Kuechly, it could be Aaron Donald. Just pick whoever the hell you want and then move on. That's what I did. Next award, we have Offensive Rookie of the Year, Saquon Barkley. It needs to be Saquon Barkley. It will be Saquon Barkley. Unless if Royce Freeman is a lot better than I'm expecting, it's going to be Saquon Barkley. Defensive Rookie of the Year, let's go Bradley Chubb. You know, a safe pick. I wanted to go Harold Landry of the Tennessee Titans, but he's already banged up. I considered Derwin James, okay, of the LA Chargers, but again, it's going to be hard to do that as a safety. It's hard to do. So give me the safe pick, Bradley Chubb of the Denver Broncos, playing opposite of Von Miller. This would be a hell of a duo here, and it will be for years to come. Comeback Player of the Year, quarterback Andrew Luck. He is back, and he will make his presence known, ladies and gentlemen. There's no doubt about that. Deshaun Watson, he could win, but give me Andrew Luck every day over the fraud Watson. And then Coach of the Year, Matt Nagy of the Chicago Bears. The Bears will have a turnaround, and Matt Nagy will receive the Coach of the Year award because of that. Now, this isn't an award, but I love to do this every year. Who are the coaches that are going to be fired by the end of the year? Now, this is fun to do. Let's start with Dirk Cutter, who I absolutely believe, with every bone in my body, will not survive this season. He will be fired, ladies and gentlemen. I think he's going to be fired mid-season. I have the Bucs starting 0-5. They could fire him then. They could fire him later on. The point is this. Dirk Cutter will not be the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2019. Hugh Jackson, get him out of my face. I keep telling y'all this. I'm tired of Hugh Jackson. He stinks. He sucks. He blows. I'm tired of Hugh Jackson. He's a horrible head coach, and hopefully now the Cleveland Browns can recognize that and move on. How about this, Jay Gruden? I think it's time. He has been a horrible head coach, but he has been a good one. His record is about 500, but this year it's going to dip well below 500, and the Redskins will feel like, okay, it's time to move on. Dan Snyder has done this plenty of times before. Next one was a struggle. Bill O'Brien. You know, right now I have the Houston Texans going 7-9. I have Deshaun Watson regressing and showing his fraudulent nature. If this happens, I feel like Bob McNair would say, well, you know what? I'm blaming Bill O'Brien for this. I need to blame someone for this. I don't want to blame quarterback Deshaun Watson for this. I'm going to get rid of my head coach. You know, he's been there for a while. He's done well. He's gone to the playoffs, but coming off of a 4-12 season, if they only go 7-9, I feel like Bob McNair may move on. Now, this was a reach. They could mutually agree to part ways or something like that, but I don't know. I feel like time's running out for Bill O'Brien right now. And then Adam Gase as well. You know, coming off of a 6-10 season, I have the Dolphins going 4-12 this year. You can't do that. You know, you went 10-6, made the playoffs great, but then going 6-10 and then 4-12, heading in the wrong direction. Dolphins love to change coaches. This will give them the opportunity to do so. And then Vance Joseph. Again, a reach here. I really reached for the last three, but you got to get creative, man. You got to get creative. You can't just pick 3 coaches to get fired and then say that's going to be it. It's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's the way the NFL works. So I'm reaching again here, but again, I feel like he could have got fired last year, and I only have the Broncos going 7-9 this year, so it would make sense. So there you go. I also consider Jason Garrett. I mean, but I don't think Jerry Jones is ready to move on from him yet. But if the Cowboys go 7-9, which I am projecting, he could definitely have his job taken away from him by the end of the year. And those are the main candidates. I want to hear what you guys think. What are some other coaches you guys think might be fired by the end of the year? And make no doubt about it, it will be a lot. It'll be at least 5. Okay, I think we can all agree on Cutter, Jackson, Gruden. Bill O'Brien, Adam Gase, and Vance Joseph, they were reaches, but they're definitely within the realm of possibility. So there you go. Those are my playoff predictions. Those are my war predictions. I cannot wait for tomorrow's games. It is going to be fun. Hopefully the Titans win, and hopefully we start the season off right. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.